G'day everyone. Welcome to Cam's Corner, the place where we cut through the corporate fluff and ask the one simple question that actually matters. But what really caused it? I'm your host Cam, the resident incident whisperer here at SafetyWise, and today we're taking a sledgehammer to some of the safety industry's most sacred cows. Let's start with a slogan you've probably seen plastered on every high-vis vest, office poster, and induction slide from Sydney to Seattle. Safety first. Sounds great, doesn't it? Very noble. But let's be entirely fair dinkum here. It's a massive trap. When an organisation shouts safety first the loudest, it's often a sign they're using a slogan to mask an uncomfortable truth. The truth is, risk is traded every single day in normal business operations. Frontline workers are constantly put in a vice between what they're told to do in a procedure and the actual resources, schedule, and cost pressures piled on them. When the pressure is on, efficiency and schedule quietly override safety controls. And then we act surprised when something goes wrong. It's time to stop focusing on the player and start focusing on the design of the game. If you design a game where the only way for a player to win, or just keep their job, is to take a shortcut, you don't have a human error problem, you have a systemic design problem. Let me tell you a classic story that illustrates exactly how poor layout makes error entirely predictable. Picture a workshop on a Friday afternoon. It's chock-a-block with vehicles needing maintenance. The supervisor is breathing down the mechanic's neck to get them out before the weekend. All the proper hydraulic hoists and wheel ramps are fully booked. So, what does the mechanic do? He uses a forklift to lift a light vehicle and props it up with a loose piece of steel. He even places the welding machine outside the vehicle's footprint so it won't get damaged if the car falls. He knows the risk is there. But the layout, the lack of available equipment, and the massive schedule pressure made this exact mistake totally inevitable. Sure enough, the vehicle slips and the mechanic ends up with severe injuries. Blaming him for poor judgment is easy, but it misses the entire system that set him up to fail. This brings us to James Reason's famous Swiss cheese model. For decades, we've known that incidents are never just a single person making a mistake. It's a malevolent alignment of latent systemic failures, holes in our defensive barriers. But here's where companies take the lazy way out. When we identify these holes, what do? We default to the absolute bottom of the hierarchy of controls. We write another policy, hold a toolbox talk, or hand out new safety glasses. Administrative controls and PPE are cheap, easy, and completely ineffective at changing the actual risk profile. If you want true risk management, you have to climb that hierarchy. You have to look at hard engineering controls, substitution, or outright elimination. But that costs money and takes effort. So instead, we just tell the worker to try harder next time. As investigators, if we want to build real defenses, we must ask, why did this action make sense to the worker at the time? Nobody goes to work wanting to get hurt or damage gear. If they bypassed a control, it's because in their local reality, with the pressures and tools they had, it seemed like the most logical path to get the job done. If you don't understand their reality, you'll never fix the system. So, what's the path forward? It's building error-tolerant systems. Human error is a basic, inevitable condition of being alive. People are going to be fatigued, they're going to get distracted, and they're going to make mistakes. A truly safe system doesn't rely on perfect humans. It's designed so that when a human inevitably fails, the system fails safely. We achieve this by modifying the physical environment, the equipment, and the processes, rather than just pointing fingers. Think about the physical layout of your site, the separation of heavy vehicles and pedestrians, or automated interlocks that prevent machinery from operating under unsafe conditions. Those are real defenses. I challenge every leader listening to this. Put down the compliance clipboard. Stop looking at your statistics, your glossy safety posters, and your tick and flick audits. Go out to the site and ask your frontline crew what really drives their decisions when the pressure is on. You might not like the answers, but that's where the real learning begins. Because at the end of the day, we aren't interested in who is to blame. We're interested in what we can learn to make sure everyone goes home safe. That's all for today's corner. Thanks for listening, mates. Stay safe, look out for each other, and I'll catch you next time.